Thank you so much, Darlene. I really appreciate you come here like on the Saturday afternoon. It's not too many executive level people is willing to work, at this time of the week. So I really appreciate that because you represent like 24,000 of us.
25 now.
25,000.
Yes,
oh
yes.
my God. It keeps on going up. I guess the market is good, right? I don't know, but it's 25,000 of us now. So let me just quickly translate that. 嗱，今日咧就Darlene佢頭先講，因為Darlene咧係我哋 BC 地產局咧就係代表我哋25,000個成個 BC 省嘅經紀會嚟嘅，咁所以變咗咧即係佢講嘅咧係非常之權威，你喺電視上邊咧都會一定見過佢個樣。如果你而家睇緊我喺個 Facebook Live 嗰度咧，亦都見到佢個樣係點樣樣嘅。So let's get to the meat. A lot of information that you can share with us. So Darlene, when it comes to this cooling off period that it was being introduced last year, it was like unannounced. All of a sudden, like it just like dawned on us. And ever since then, like you have been doing a lot. I mean, like BCREA and the board and the BCFSA all work together and then come up with this white paper. I understand that the BCREA, we do not support this cooling off period to implement this. And why? Can I just quickly translate that? 嗱，我就問阿Darlene啦，呢個咧白皮書咧就俾咗政府啦。但係咧，我哋嘅行內咧，我哋係唔認同政府呢個突然間係完全冇民意嘅出嚟嘅正所謂另一個辣椒咧，就係話要一個冷靜期嘅。咁我問佢點解我哋行內嘅人唔贊成呢樣嘢咧 ？So Darlene, can you share with us why we don't?
Well, I'm going to back up, Tina. First of all, thank you for having me, and it's a great opportunity to speak to your audience, your listening audience. And I just want to back up a little bit about why a cooling off period became a thing.
Okay.
It became a thing because our demand for homes here is 3 times greater than the supply of homes.
Yes.
So we have a very low inventory, very low supply. Decades of underbuilding. Last year, 80,000 people came to British Columbia. This year, we're expecting at least 80,000 new immigrants.
Wow, another 80.
Last year was 80, about 30 from immigration from abroad and 50 from the rest of Canada. So I'm not sure what the immigration figures this year for the rest of Canada are, but we're expecting 70 to 80,000 immigrants from overseas. And then with the Ukraine situation having broken out, we can expect I'm sure thousands of refugees from that part of the country. So we haven't been able to meet domestic demand. And we have immigration now coming back after the pandemic. So it's a very challenging market for anybody who wants to buy.
Okay, let me just quickly translate that one. 佢嘅意思咧，阿Darlene嘅意思咧就係話咧 ，OK， 即係翻轉頭啦，嘿，慢一慢先，點解咧政府會有呢個咁嘅冷靜期咧？其實最主要嚟啦就係話咧，我哋都同大家分享過㗎啦，供應唔平衡。供求嗰方面咧，我哋嘅供應量咧，而家只不過咧係1/3 ，OK？ 第一，第二咧就係幾十年嚟咧都係起唔夠樓 ，OK？ 起唔夠樓。第三，過去舊年咧，我哋有8萬人嚟到 BC 省，3萬咧新移民，5萬咧係國內移民。今年相信亦都有7至8萬過嚟，再加埋而家咧烏克蘭嗰啲難民，咁再加埋咧我哋舊年咧excuse me， 同埋咧，我哋舊年咧嗰個前2年啦，香港嗰個情況啦，咁所以變咗係不停有人咧就係過嚟，所以呢個就係最大嘅問題啦。Yes.
So that's the situation. So when somebody goes to buy a home, they're competing with many, many others. And oftentimes a home goes on the market at 10 in the morning and by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's sold. So you can imagine it's a frenzied, concentrated period. You're competing with others. You may make uninformed and rash decisions.
Correct.
Okay? And you may end up with a home, and later on you realize, I can't afford it. Yeah. I didn't want this home. I should have had a home inspection, whatever. So those that are successful are sometimes feeling I didn't really have the time I needed to make an informed decision. Plus, you have all the unsuccessful buyers who didn't make it, who are upset too. Okay. So that's kind of the situation. Now,
So maybe I quickly translate
Yeah,
that one.
right.
OK，咁Darlene 嘅意思咧就係話咩咧？因為買即係咁多人過嚟溫哥華啦，即係 BC 省啦，唔好話就係溫哥華啦。買家咧係已經係非常之 frustrated 啦，因為咧佢哋咧就基本上咧就好似有時咧啲樓盤攞出嚟咧10點鐘攞出嚟，3點鐘下晝就已經賣咗啦。咁所以變咗咧有好大家咧冇時間去做呢個思想鬥爭，究竟呢個係咪真係我想要嘅物業咧？可能佢買完之後咧，佢買咗咯喎，原來後期先至發覺自己係根本唔想要呢嚿嘢嘅，即係後悔即係莫及啦咁樣樣啦。Yes。
Okay, so, and I just got to branch off here a little bit, and some people say, oh, realtors must be thrilled because it's a hot market. Actually, they're not thrilled.
No.
This is not good for realtors, and it's not good for customers. The affordability crisis is here. If I'm a realtor, and I'm not one, but I would rather sell 5 homes at $750,000 a piece than 1 home at $2 million.
Yeah.
And with this affordability crisis, so many people are left out of the market.
Yeah,
So many people
correct.
can't afford.
Correct.
So and you have so many unsuccessful tries at a home that aren't successful. The buyer is not successful. The realtor is not successful.
Yeah.
So I want to put that straight. That
Yes.
this is not good
No.
for realtors.
Totally understandable.
So then I guess people complained to the regulator and to the government because they were feeling, oh my goodness, I didn't get the home I wanted, or I got the home I thought I wanted, but then I realized there were problems that could have been solved if I had more time to think about those things.
Okay.
So it was buyer's remorse.
Wonderful. So I'm gonna just translate that before
Okay.
we have our commercial breaks at 5:30. So Darlene 嘅意思咧就係話咧，即係基本上咧就係買完之後冇時間去做 inspection，同人哋爭餐飽，根本上咧最嬲尾嘅時候咧complain 嘅俾邊度咧？政府人員。咁政府人員咧就係見到就係話，點解會發生啲咁嘅嘢出嚟咧？咁嘅情況之下咧，佢哋就係所以變咗咧有呢個咁嘅冷靜期出現。但係最主要嚟講咧就係話，係咪真係啲經紀咧係咁高興咧？唔係，我哋其實咧係做得好辛苦，隨時咧就係同啲客咧走10幾20個 offer， 寫10幾20個 offer， 但冇一個咧就成功嘅。咁所以變咗咧寫 offer 經紀嗰個亦都係即係辛苦。睇屋嗰個咧，亦都睇到辛苦。寫 offer 嗰個客啊，亦都係睇即係寫到咧就係心灰意冷。喺種種嘅情況之下咧，令到所有嘅人咧都係非常之frustrated， 即係咁嘅情況之下咧，所以變咗咧就政府就係話 OK， 既然係咁樣樣咧，我哋要出辣椒啦。咁好啦，出辣椒咁嘅情況會點樣 ？OK，so we only want to carry on this, after the commercial, because we only have a few seconds. So why don't we have the commercial right now, and then we can carry on. Thank you so much. Okay, so we have a little bit loud music here, but that's okay. We can carry on because the Facebook Live, I don't have to do any of the translations. So Carrie Law, she is from Hong Kong. So she's listening to us. Hi, Carrie. She's a friend of mine. And she's very active in Hong Kong market as well. So she wants to know what is going on. And there's a lot of people coming back from Hong Kong. And also, we talk about Ukraine right now. But a couple years ago, we actually, because of the political situation, 2019, so the government, also the immigration part, relaxed and allow more Hong Kong people to come to Vancouver or Canada much easier. So that's the reason why, Hong Kong and Canada, we need to know what is going on between us. So when we come back, obviously, finish your thoughts.
Yeah.
But then also we want to know that, how is it really helping just because of this?
I was going to get to that.
Yeah. So let's have the commercial finish, and then we can carry on with our conversations.
海馬爬床墊預滿30年，
Actually, you know what? When do you think that because of the government has a little bit of bias against us, do you think that they will listen to us? The white paper? We hope.
You want me to answer that right now?
Sure.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to follow my thoughts from before. So based on the complaints that came in, and actually we did some analysis of the complaints.
Okay, so we have this coming back. So let's carry on the thoughts. 投資金業翻嚟咧第二節，咁咧我好榮幸咧就請到阿 Darlene Hyde 咧係 BCREA 嘅總裁，同我哋分享一下關於嗰個冷靜期嘅情況嘅。So, okay, please share with us. Carry on your thoughts.
Okay, so based on the complaints that came into government, and we did an analysis of those, and those complaints actually, as a percentage of transactions, didn't go up, but they were more acute around the frustrations of buying a home.
Yes.
So government heard that, and government announced a cooling off period. Now, we were surprised with that because normally you look at a range of options to solve a problem, but this went right to this solution. And we were not aware of any analysis that
was done
based that supported this. There may be, but we haven't been able to see it. We don't know how this worked in other countries, but we did some analysis in our white paper, and it looks like the cooling off period was responsible for price increases in several states in Australia where it was in place. But it's not tested in Canada. So there were a lot of reasons why we had some concerns with it. First of all, it was a process that was not logical, going straight to a solution without looking at options.
Correct.
Number two, no consultation with the sector, because we did a consultation with 2,700 realtors. 93% of them said a cooling off period would not work.
Okay, so let me just quickly translate that. 咁咧就Darlene 佢嘅意思咧就係話啦，所有呢啲咁嘅辣椒咧就係因為買家係好 frustrated， 即係大家咧即係因為佢揸唔到嘢咁樣樣。咁咧就明白嘅。咁但係最主要嚟講咧，我哋最大一個 concern 咧就係憂慮咧就係話咩咧？政府佢唔係有好多嘅佢完全我哋唔知道啊，唔係話佢哋冇任何嘅consultation， 只不過咧我哋係唔知道行內嘅所有嘅專業人士咧係唔知道政府有冇做過任何呢啲 consultation， 佢一出嚟嘅咧就係話我要實行咁樣做呢樣嘢。OK， 咁佢哋可能咧就係喺Australia 嗰邊咧，即係澳洲嗰邊咧，係知道過有呢啲咁嘅情況，咁佢哋咧就照板煮碗做。你知咧，其實咧就好多時咧，我哋一咁嘅情況之下，譬如好似 buy 即係嗰啲個 bidding war 咁樣樣啦，咁啊又突然間咧又想講話好似想學澳洲嗰啲咁嘅auction 啦，咁即係有好多啲嘢咧，其實就學人哋嘅。究竟咧係我哋喺呢一個加拿大呢個情況之下，或者溫哥華呢個情況之下，係行唔行得通咧？我哋係唔知嘅。如果話做過所有嘅 consultation 而可以行得通嘅時候咧，呢個係冇問題。只不過咧，而家政府嗰度咧係有冇做過 consultation， 我哋唔知道，但係淨係知道咧佢一開刀咧就係話我哋要實行啦。It's just like when every single time when we have bidding war, then they were talking about why don't we do auction, and then it's just like Australia they have auctions, right? And then when I had, our associations, AREA, Asian Real Estate Associations, we invited Australians auctioneers to join us and had a seminar and saying that, okay, no, auctions does not stop the price keep on increasing. So, if Australians are doing auctions and does not stop the price going up, what makes us just think that, okay, let's copy them, right? So, like you said, it just doesn't work that way, right?
Well, it's a Band-Aid solution, and that's why we wrote the white paper, because we thought we need more analysis, we need more study, we need more thinking around the whole system, as opposed to one little part here or one little part there. Let's look at all the interconnected parts.
明白。
And that's why we did
That's
the white
right.
paper.
咁咧就最主要就係點解我哋有個白皮書咧，就係因為咧我頭先講樣啦，每一次咧有啲咩嘅時候咧。 咧，基本上咧就即係好似頭痛醫頭、腳痛醫腳咁樣啦。當我哋咧有啲咩情況之下咧，就想學第二個國家，究竟第二個國家嘅嘢可唔可以喺我哋呢邊做得到咧？好似頭先講就未知，即係唔知噶嘛。咁所以變咗咧我哋 BCREA 同埋金融局嘅時候咧，係有一個 joint effort 咧，就係將呢個白皮書咧，就係遞俾嘅政府嗰度，希望佢哋係會去接受嗰樣嘢嘅。Okay, so let's talk about the differences.
Well, I'll talk to you more about the concerns about
okay.
this cooling off period. Because number one, the white paper was written by BCREA only. No
okay.
joint effort with anybody.
Okay.
No, we represented the sector. We talked to 3,000 realtors. We
yes.
talked to 850 buyers, some successful, some unsuccessful. So we got a sense of what buyers are thinking here. But the chief problems that we saw with the cooling off period were these. It causes uncertainty for the seller.
Yes.
And usually the seller is also a buyer. And there are contingent purchases hanging on the sale of their home, and so on and so on. It's a domino or a chain of contingent purchases, and that's right throughout the market. So it causes uncertainty to ripple throughout the market.
Correct.
And our economists feel that there will be a price increase because sellers will price in the uncertainty into the list price. So it's more uncertain for them. They've done some modeling, and their modeling indicates that for every 10% increase in bids, and there'll be more bids than there used to be because you can rescind them.
Correct.
There would be a 2 to 3% increase in list prices. So we feel that from an affordability perspective, it's going to make a bad situation even worse.
Got it. OK. 咁咧就阿Darlene咧嘅意思咧就係話咧就想澄清一下嗰個白皮書咧就淨係我哋BC 省地產局去做呢個白皮書。呢個白皮書點樣出嚟嘅咧？我哋咧就係有同過850個嘅買家去做一個嘅訪問。咁呢850個嘅買家裏邊咧，有啲就買得到，有啲咧就買唔到嘢嘅，所以咧就即係兩邊我哋都要聽。另外咧就有同3000個經紀咧，2800到3000個經紀咧，亦都係有講過呢個情況之下。咁講完呢個做完呢個 study 之後咧，究竟個出嚟嗰個結果就係咩咧？就係話 OK。其實呢個咧係將會將嗰個價錢咧可能係越嚟越整得高添。點解咧？因為個賣家其實就唔同嗰個樓花啊嘛。賣家咧佢其實賣完之後佢可能會變成買家噶嘛。咁除非你話即係我退出加拿大啦，或者我去養老院啦，否則嘅話咧即係多數咧就係賣完之後咧你都係買嘢嘅。咁佢要賣完之後咧佢要等一筆錢，然之後先去買定一樣嘢噶嘛。咁所以變咗咧呢個咁唔穩定嘅不確定性嘅情況之下咧，有個好大嘅可能性咧，嗰個業主將佢嗰個不確定性嘅情況之下，嗰個擔憂咧就會加喺佢嗰個價錢上邊。咁隨時咧就將個 list price 咧就可能係2% 到3% 嘅 increase 嘅。咁第一，咁第二 increase 咗之後加咗，咁即係點啊？咁即係嗰個負擔能力就仲難啦，係咪？咁所以變咗咁嘅情況之下咧，唔係一件好事嚟嘅。Yes。
So we got a few more issues with the cooling off period, and here they are. If there is no price attached to exercising the rescission, people will make frivolous offers because they can pull them all back. No penalty.
That's right.
If there is a price attached to them, who is going to be spending money on this? It is not your first-time home buyer. It will be your more sophisticated, more well-resourced buyer. So it's not going to help the new home buyer at all.
Correct.
It's going to help those people who have the funds, not those who are counting every dollar of their down payment. And the other thing it might do is a seller might say, you know, this is a little risky, this cooling off period. I'm going to sell my home privately. So basically taking the home really off the MLS service,
Visible.
which is not attractive either because it reduces access. People won't have access to it.
Okay.
So it will be, in our view, very disruptive to the market.
It's not just the accessibility. It's also no protection because they're selling by themselves.
No, legal and financial risk.
Yes,
big time.
Yes.
On both sides.
Yes, let me just translate that. 嗱，另外佢話咧就係有2個情況嘅。第一咧就係話，如果當你一個買家去落 offer， 我落10個 offer 都冇問題啦，因為個情況之下，即係話我有一個冷靜期，我幾多日之後咧，我先決定究竟我買邊間。咁咧呢個情況之下咧，如果你係冇又冇罰錢啊，又冇剩嘅時候咧。咁佢冇所謂㗎，係咪？咁就如果你買家，阿 Tina， 你同我落10個，呢10間我都中意嘅，你落咗先啦，反正我都冇問題嘅。咁我幾多日之後咧，我先決定究竟我買邊間啦。咁嘅情況之下咧，就會令到好多啲買家咧就更加買唔到嘢，尤其是係嗰啲初次置業嘅。呢啲咁嘅情況之下，對邊啲嘅客人咧買家咧係會有個唔係叫好處啊，即係可以 work 到嘅咧，就係佢哋呢啲咧就係正所謂咧好成熟嘅投資者。或者咧，佢係有即係嗰個資金喺後邊，佢係唔介意攞一啲錢出嚟搏一搏、賭一賭咁嘅情況之下咧，你會係正所謂咧益咗呢一班人。但係對我哋呢啲嘅即係數住每一千每一萬嚟到將所有啲錢刮埋嚟到買物業嗰啲第一次初次置業嘅後生嗰啲咧，千禧年嗰啲咧，係一個好唔公平嘅情況之下咧，係有呢個咁嘅冷靜期嘅。第一。第二，如果嗰個賣家咧覺得哇咁鬼複雜，要俾你綁手綁腳，我不如咧我自賣啦。好啦，自賣咧就有咩情況咧？第一，會令到咧想買屋嗰啲人咧就更加少喺嗰個樓盤，我哋嘅所謂嘅 ML 咧上面可以攞到盤啦，見到盤啦。第一，第二，自賣嘅時候咧。法律上冇保障，因為你自己搞掂啊嘛，係咪？你都唔知道自己，你又唔係做慣呢行，你會唔會將個即係話，我為咗慳啲錢，然之後咧俾個無牌醫生嚟到開刀，唔會噶嘛，係咪先？咁你即係有好多啲風險上面嘅嘢咧，你係需要擔心呢樣嘢嘅。Okay, so got it.
Okay, so we're looking at what is the problem we want to solve here. We want to solve the problem of buyer's remorse. And there are other ways of solving it. Now, here's a quote from Minister Robinson. Quote, buyers need to have time to get the information they need to make a sound decision that is right for them. Correct. Now, we totally concur with that,
yes.
with that statement because we feel a mandatory pre-offer period would do that. And this is what we see as being a solution to buyer's remorse. So we have a 5 business day period during which no offer can be made. No bully offer, no nothing, okay? It basically it allows maximum access from the MLS, whoever's looking at the MLS through their realtors to have a look at this property. During that time, they can visit it more than once. They can maybe have a friend go through it from a point of view of looking at structural integrity. They can get a inspector if they're a housing inspector if they're serious. They can talk to their bank or their credit union about financing. They can take care of insurance issues. They can do the full meal deal before they put in a well thought out offer.
Okay, so let me translate that. 咁我哋咧就個白皮書裏邊咧就係有咁嘅講法嘅，因為咧我哋個 finance minister 咧Robinson 咧佢哋就曾經講過，買家係需要有時間去諗，需要有時間去攞足晒所有嘅文件去睇，咁先至可以去正式諗清楚究竟呢個物業係咪真係我哋想去落 offer 嘅。咁我哋行內係極度之贊成呢個情況。咁我哋嘅白皮書咧就係希望咧係可以咧就係提議，唔係話冷靜期，而係咧就一個pre-offer，OK， 即係你落 offer 之前咧就用5日嘅時間 ，OK， 5日嘅時間唔落 offer， 乜都唔做，睇晒啲嘢，睇晒文件，同銀行講，或者咧要去做嗰個inspection，即係驗屋，所有做晒啲嘢之後咧，你考慮得清清楚楚。然之後咧，先至去做落呢個 offer。咁嘅情況之下咧，就大家咧都唔會有一個後悔啦。因為而家最主要咧就係話好多時咧有啲買家咧買完之後覺得我後悔。咁希望咧呢個5日嘅5個工作天嘅時間咧係可以俾佢哋咧係唔會有呢個後悔先至落 offer。So before we carry on to our last segments, so let's have the commercial first. And then we'll carry on. But during our commercial breaks, we can carry on our conversation.
Okay.
Thank you. So thank you for watching, and once again, thank you so much for you sharing with all this valuable information. So none of these prepared informations we needed. Your thought is way more important. So now, one thing that is a little bit worries me, not worries, but banks needs, sometimes more than 5 business days. And inspections, like if you keep on having this offers, bidding wars and things like that, each inspection costs between $500 to $800. Like as a buyer, I cannot afford to keep on having these inspections, and that part I don't know how, we can address that.
Well, first of all, with respect to the 5 business days, that was a start. We felt it's a minimum. It might be 7, it might be 9. Like, we're not hard and fast on the 5 days, but we felt we put in the minimum 5 days. With respect to home inspections, it may be that people still want to put that on as a subject, and they can. It doesn't prevent them from putting it on as a subject to their offer.
But they worry they won't get it.
But it does reduce the chances of getting the home because the seller is usually looking for clean offers. We don't have a solution for that. We just don't. I would say inspections are really an issue of the judgment of the
So
buyer.
我哋翻嚟最後一節咧，投資金業咧就同阿 Darlene 咧BCREA 嘅總裁咧就再繼續咧我哋呢個冷靜期嘅情況係點樣樣嘅。But thank you for having like you on our shows, and this is our last bit before we have more to talk about, but there's a lot to into it. So share with us about, like I know that a white paper does not mean that we can solve all the problems. And I understand that the government cannot solve all the problems because basically buying a house is emotional. Okay, so we cannot really control, people's emotions. And so, what would be, how can we move forward and how, share your thoughts more with us, this flexibilities, this penalty, like what kind of days, if they really enforce and they said it's going to force upon us, I don't care, we don't listen, and then what kind of recommendations this white paper we have and you submitted to the government that hopefully the government will listen. Let me just translate that. 咁咧嗱，我最主要咧就係想即係好多謝阿 Darlene 咧，就今日再同我哋分享呢樣嘢啦。但係最主要嚟講就係話咩咧？嗱，我哋recommendation 就係一件事啫，政府聽唔聽係另外一件事，因為白皮書咁啊，政府最嬲尾咧就拍板嗰個先至係㗎。佢乜嘢都唔聽我哋嘅時候咧，我哋都冇計㗎，係咪？只不過咧，我哋希望佢哋會聽啦。咁如果萬一即係我想話啦，即係如果即係佢一意孤行。要做一個冷靜期，唔係我哋去即係我哋本來即係大啲講啦，個 5 business day 5日嗰個即係希望咧政府可以考慮呢一個做法嘅時候，如果佢真係唔睬我哋，咁我哋個白皮書仲有啲乜嘢嘅 recommendation 咧 ？So what kind of recommendation if they don't take this pre-offer?
Well, we've got a few more things about this pre-offer. We think it should apply to all residential sales, including the for sale by owner. So that you can't get out of it by selling your home privately. And that the other key thing is that all documents relating to the house, the property disclosure statement, any and all strata documents, including Form B, must be available the minute the home is listed. So that is available to the buyer for the full minimum 5 business days or longer if the case may be. And we feel that prevention is better than trying to remedy the problem after the fact.
Absolutely.
And this way, we see no unintended impacts on the market. Now, will prices go down as a result of pre-offer period? No. Will this control for price? No. But it will not interrupt the market the way the cooling off period will be. And the home builders, the Canadian Home Builders BC branch and the Urban Development Institute, the UDI, have also supported our pre-offer period approach. So we figure it's a better solution than the cooling off period.
So 嗱，阿 Darlene 咧，佢意思咧就係話咧，呢個正所謂嘅5日嗰個 我哋 recommend 啊嚇，唔係話政府係真係願意去接受聽我哋講啦，只不過我哋 recommend 我哋白皮書要講咧就係話呢樣嘢咧就會就算你自賣嘅咧。都會係同一個情況 ，OK， 唔會話即係唔使冇呢個即係額外即係你唔需要理呢樣嘢嘅，唔會嘅。第一，第二，當賣家嗱聽住啦，如果你係賣嘢嘅時候咧，而係你係住緊公寓啊，無論你住咩都好啦，係有所有嘅即係每個月。經你哋個立案法團啦，會開會啊，Form B 啊，所有嘅文件嘅時候咧，當個經紀好多時咧就係話，我等有 offer 咧，我先至去攞呢啲文件啦，咁樣樣，因為我唔知道我賣唔賣到嘛，咁想慳錢。我明白嘅，但係咧呢個情況之下咧，係對買家咧係唔即係唔公平嘅，所以咧係希望咧就係大家做經紀嘅時候咧，就係你一 list 嗰個物業嘅時候咧，你上盤之前你已經有晒你所有嘅文件，有晒你所有嘅文件，咁所有呢啲咁嘅正所謂 prevention 啦，即係預防勝於治療啦，咁係咪會可以控制到嗰個價錢咧？係咪會控制到嗰個bidding war 咧？唔係嘅，只不過咧係即係做咗係。希望咧係可以將嗰個情況咧係越少個 interruption 咧，即係越令到嗰個買賣咧個情況咧係唔會有嗰個同呢個冷靜期咧會有一個大嘅分別嘅。So now I think that we talk about all this, we understand, we're trying to do the prevention, but some of the listener or even a lot of the seller, I don't care whether it's Chinese.or non-Chinese or whatever, they might not realize what this cooling off period is actually, like how this affect them as a seller. So maybe we can share about that because we're talking about solution, but then the thing is, you see, they might not understand fully. Okay, well, with Tina, you talk about this with Darlene, but what is this cooling off period? Why is it bad to me as a seller?
Well, it creates uncertainty for the seller because for that period of time, whatever that period of time is, that sale is not really a done deal.
No done deal.
So for that period of time, the deal is up in the air. They don't know whether it's going to go through, and the decision on whether to purchase a contingent home or another home based on the proceeds of that sale is also up in the air. And you can take that chain right throughout the system. And so it puts everything in a moment of hiatus or several days of hiatus and uncertainty. And then you find out whether the deal went through or not. And of course, the regulator is consulting on the parameters, like will there be a price to this? How long will the period be? We have said, and one thing, that the pre-offer period that we've suggested as an alternative won't reduce the number of offers on a house because, again, it's not a supply solution. It has nothing to do with supply. It's got to do with buyer remorse and thinking through your decision and managing your risk in a proactive way. It's got nothing to do with the number of homes on the market versus the number of people who want to buy those homes.
Got it.
So we have said if government must do this, then we recommend a cooling off period of no longer than 24 hours.
Okay.
We recommend that the penalty would be half of the amount of the deposit. So whatever deposit you pay, you would also pay a non-refundable amount to the seller when you rescind the offer.
Okay.
So it would cost something.
Good. 咁咧嗱就頭先啦，我哋話啊嘛 ，OK， 究竟呢個咁嘅冷靜期對我有啲咩影響啊？我係一個買家係咪？嗱初咧我哋大家記得嘅時候咧就係話咩咧？如果個買家咧又話阿 Tina 你幫我寫10個 offer 啦，我過咗之後咧咁咪先至去究竟我過幾日之後咧我先決定究竟買邊個啦？咁呢個咧係非常之不公平啦，係咪？唔係淨係對買家，而家對賣家都係，因為賣家嘅可能咧唔係可能係需要你筆錢。即係我收咗個 all cash offer 之後咧，根本咧都係唔知道我究竟買唔買到嘅。咁所以變咗咧，如果個政府係一意孤行，一定要去做呢個咁嘅冷靜期嘅時候咧，咁咧我哋個白皮書咧就係希望咧係政府咧就係希望只係可以24小時。24小時，咁即係話咧就算你今日簽咗個 all cash no subject， 即係冇 subject 嘅 offer。 24 hours 24小時之後咧就決定你究竟係買定係唔買。就唔希望政府咧又話5、6、7、8日咁，因為如果你買樓花咧，大家如果知道咧，你買樓花嘅時候咧，你有7日嘅時間去即係唔買呢樣嘢嘅。咁但係如果你喺二手嘅市場裏邊咧，係做呢樣嘢咧，係極度之對嗰個賣家係不公平嘅。好啦，呢個第一24小時。第二咧就係關於個 deposit 啦，即係嗰個按金啦。通常嚟講咧，我哋當即係攞5% 嘅5% deposit 咁樣啦，5% deposit 啦，即係 normally。咁如果嘅情況之下咧，就係話，如果佢真係唔要嘅話咧，要退出呢個 offer 咧，要罰佢一半，即係2.5%。而呢個2.5%咧，係佢唔可以攞得走。呢個2.5%咧，就係俾個賣家直接俾個賣家嘅。咁呢個咧係我哋喺個白皮書裏邊咧去提議嘅。That's at least better.
Yeah, and
I'm not saying that it's perfect, but
well, flexibility is not free.
Exactly.
And it recommends that it says that like this is the cost to everybody. So pay the seller.
Price.
And also our recommendation is that upon mutual consent it could be waived.
OK.
For if both sides agreed.
OK。咁咧佢意思就係話咧，如果買賣雙方係願意將呢個冷靜期。即係如果政府真係要一意孤行而買賣雙方係願意話 OK， 我哋大家都炒咗佢，唔要呢個冷靜期啦。咁嘅情況之下咧，係希望政府係接受我哋嘅建議，唔係話政府嘅願意，因為而家咧仲未知道佢幾時係會去出呢個辣椒嘅。Any idea when they're gonna like implement this or consider? Are they in the process?
Our understanding is the legislation around this and perhaps other consumer protection initiatives would be in the spring session of the legislature, which I'm estimating May, June. Yeah, that's the subject to check.
咁咧就始終咧政府嘅嘢啦，咁而家又要傾啦，又要開會啦，咁可能仲有其他啲辣椒你唔知道啦，我哋唔知道啦，咁嘅情況之下咧就應該係春天就可能會實行呢樣嘢㗎啦。咁嘅情況之下咧就即係5、6月左右啦，咁所以變咗如果大家咧就真係有興趣去買。唔係買，係賣呢個物業，亦都唔想話咁多嘅頭痛嘅時候咧，俾個電話我啦，係咪？梗係6044125860咧，咁我同你做下個估價啦，係咪？咁但係而家最主要嚟講就係話咩咧？唔好睇小政府嘅辣椒係點樣影響到我哋。而家嘅情況就係話呢啲辣椒出嚟咧，唔等於會係少啲個 offer， 唔等於個價錢係會有影響，只不過咧係想保障買家咧唔會後悔咁解嘅啫。So what is your 3 bullet points, 5 bullet points, before we finish quickly, then to the listener, to the seller and the buyer, then we can tell them?
Well, I would say BCREA has put together a white paper with recommendations around a pre-offer period, plus it has a number of other recommendations around consumer protection, which I don't have time to go into tonight, but also some recommendations to strengthen the realtor profession, increase licensing requirements. We have recommendations on how government should consult in future with the sector and pay more attention to what stakeholders and realtors have to say in the matter. We recognize that government officials aren't experts at this, and we know they get to make the decisions, but they should listen to the input anyway.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Let me quickly translate it so that we can, let everybody knows. 咁總之咧就希望政府咧以後咧會聽我哋多啲嘅意見，願意同我哋去商討。咁咧我哋個協會裏邊咧亦都係希望我哋所有嘅經紀咧係可以更加專業嚟到保障我哋嘅買家，亦同埋我哋嘅賣家嘅。Thank you so very much, Darlene, for coming here on the show and share all your insight with the Chinese community. Really, really appreciate it. Probably we'll have you back in spring after this legislation. We never know. This is so important to us. 咁咧就好多謝 Darlene 啦，今日同我哋分享好多。希望咧就有個可能性咧，春天之後如果係真係立例嘅時候咧，就要再請阿 Darlene 翻嚟咧，就真係同我哋講嘅究竟我哋應該係點樣去應付啦。多謝今日同我哋分享咁多。嗱，有啲咩嘅時候想賣屋或者買屋，俾個電話我6044125860，6044125860就可以同大家去再分享一啲專業嘅意見㗎啦。拜拜。
謝謝。
Yes, that's right. You're right. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. So happy to have Darlene here. And if there's any questions, and write it down on the chats and things like that, we will address this, and then we'll address this and make sure that Darlene can share her professional input with us. And we, as a professional, we must pay more attention to this, and we must share this insight with our clients, and so that we don't give an opportunities to the governments to force anything upon us. Thank you so much again. Thank you. Bye, guys.